Well, thank you very much for the invitation and welcome everybody to this presentation about certifications for food safety and product certification. My name is Eva Pitterling, as I was already introduced by the colleagues from Alcorp. And I am in charge of our cluster Asia, which includes different subsidiaries here. So eventually I will be also covering Myanmar, but unfortunately so far we do not have a subsidiary there. So just to give you a brief on what we are talking about. So first I will briefly present the Tiffin Group, what we are doing and what are our services. Then we will talk about food safety services or food safety standards. I also have a brief excursion on the hygiene and cleanliness audit, which is currently very, very important because of the COVID situation. And then we talk about product certification and closing with the SNI, which stands for Standard Nasional Indonesia, which is the national Indonesian standard for products that shall be imported to Indonesia. So the Tiffin Group is one of the leading certification bodies from Germany with around 10,000 people worldwide. And we cover many different sectors from the system certification, so all kinds of systems. We also cover mobility, which is everything that has to do with cars and inspections. Then we have the Tiffin Academy, Tiffin Bildung, which consists of all kinds of trainings. TIF IT, which is solely covering IT systems. DMT is covering the natural resources and geology. ATN is for aerospace and airplanes and all these air things. And then we have our group companies, which you can see here. So we are presented in most parts of the world, and especially in Asia, Southeast Asia. We are in India, China, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and Indonesia. All other countries, we do not yet have a subsidiary, but we are serving some of the countries from our bigger subsidiaries in Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. So to cover our services, I think we're doing a lot in energy. As Joy mentioned earlier, I'm also heading the Eurochem Energy Working Group. So we are looking especially into renewable energy, all kinds of renewable energy. What are we doing there? We are doing inspections, we are doing trainings, we are doing all kinds of certifications and testings, especially in the wind sector, in the solar sector, in the geothermal sector, and in the nuclear sector. Talking about mobility, how will we travel tomorrow? So that's also all kinds of inspections for trains, cars, airplanes, name it. We can test and inspect it. Also about cities and environment. So how is the world we live in changing? We face so many environmental difficulties. We're talking about this all the time. We had the COP, the Conference of Parties, where every country is committing to ambitious environmental targets, greenhouse gas emission targets. So we are also doing a lot of certification around that. Another important part is the data security. So data security or data safety is one of our core businesses covered by TIF IT, but also several certifications around that, different ISOs. I can tell you more about that in a different session. Then I was already talking about natural resources. The geologists from DMT are working in that field. Aerospace and air travels. And a very important sector is the training and human resources. So we are always looking for the knowledge that is vital for the 21st century. So we're looking for trainings on the job, special trainings, trainings on ISOs, trainings on IT security. So whenever there's an inquiry, we will try to handle that accordingly. And then we come to the field we are covering today, health and nutrition. So how can we be sure that we are living a healthy life? For a healthy life, you need healthy food, environmentally friendly produced food, and especially safely produced food. And for that, we have several different standards that are covered and that ensure the safety and, mainly the safety of the food that we as consumers are taking in. So the first standard I want to talk about is the ISO 22000. Just as an overview, the ISO 22000 is a management system standard that ensures the food safety hazards, but they are all covered throughout the whole supply chain. And it aligns the requirements to the whole supply chain, really from the farm to the table. It ensures that all the organizations that are involved directly or indirectly in producing food are working in a safe system, and that there are no contaminations possible in between. It really starts from the feed producer, animal food producer, catering services, up to packaging material and other food contact materials. So all these companies that are dealing with these services within the food supply chain should be certified ISO 22000 or BRC. So you might be aware of ISO standards. Many companies already have the ISO 9000 standard, which is from the ISO consortium in Geneva. They developed those global standards. And the British Retail Consortium is also a food safety standard that has been developed in UK, but it's also worldwide acknowledged.